Admiral Kira Nakamura stood at the observation deck of Earth's most closely guarded secret, the EDS Thunderbolt. Hidden within the dark side of Luna, this marvel of human engineering represented humanity's determination to survive in a universe they knew would eventually come knocking. The massive warship gleamed under the artificial lights, its quantum metallic hull absorbing and redirecting any scan attempts that might reveal its existence. "Status report," Nakamura commanded, her voice steady despite the tension in the air. The holographic display before her showed multiple unknown vessels approaching the solar system's edge. Lieutenant James Harrison's fingers danced across his console. 15 vessels, Admiral. Configuration unknown, but their energy signatures suggest they're well beyond anything we've seen in our deep space probes. For decades, humanity had prepared in secret. While the world's governments publicly focused on climate change and terrestrial conflicts, Project Guardian Shield had united the planet's best minds in developing technologies that would protect Earth from potential cosmic threats. The Thunderbolt was their masterpiece, a warship that combined breakthrough technologies in quantum mechanics, dark matter manipulation, and consciousness-linked targeting systems. "They're slowing down," Harrison reported, his dark skin reflecting the blue glow of his station. "Wait, they're launching something. Smaller vessels, possibly scouts." Nakamura's eyes narrowed. This was the moment they had prepared for. Initialize ghost protocols. Let's see what they do when they think they're alone. The Thunderbolt's systems hummed silently as its advanced cloaking technology engaged, making it virtually undetectable to any known form of scanning technology. The crew watched as 3 alien scout ships entered the solar system, their sleek designs suggesting a civilization far more advanced than humanity's public space presence would indicate. "Incoming transmission," Communications Officer Ray Tanaka announced. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies. Universal Translation Matrix is processing." The message came through clear and imperious. "To the primitive species of Sol 3, this is the Nexarian Empire. Your system has been chosen for integration into our divine realm. Resistance is unnecessary. Prepare for evaluation and classification." A slight smile crossed Nakamura's face. "Primitive, are we? Lieutenant Harrison, begin passive scans. I want to know everything about their capabilities before we show them ours." The scout ships moved with practiced precision, scanning Earth's visible defense systems, the outdated satellites, the small International Space Station, the modest lunar base. Everything humanity wanted them to see. "They're buying it," Strategic Officer Viktor Petrov reported, his scarred face illuminated by his console's glow. "Their scan patterns suggest they're cataloging our visible technology. They're not even looking for anything more advanced." Nakamura nodded. Humanity's greatest advantage has always been being underestimated. Keep monitoring them. The moment they try anything aggressive, we'll give them their first lesson in human ingenuity. The scouts continued their survey for hours, occasionally broadcasting more messages about the glory of the Nexarian Empire and the benefits of willing submission. Each transmission revealed more about their communication protocols, their shield frequencies, their weapon configurations. The Thunderbolt's quantum computers processed every detail, building a comprehensive analysis of their technological capabilities. "Admiral," Harrison called out, his voice tight with urgency. "They're powering up weapons. Target appears to be our lunar mining facility." Nakamura's expression hardened. Apparently they want to demonstrate their superiority. "Tactical. Prepare a warning shot. Let's show them exactly how primitive we are." The Thunderbolt's main weapon system, the quantum cascade array, powered up silently. Based on principles that would revolutionize physics, once revealed, it could target multiple points in space simultaneously, creating a web of destructive energy that was virtually impossible to evade. Target locked. Weapons Officer Yuki Sato reported calmly, awaiting your command. Nakamura took a deep breath. This moment would change human history forever. Fire. The quantum cascade array activated. In an instant, a network of energy points materialized around the 3 scout ships, connecting in a brilliant display of light and power. The aliens had no time to react, as their shields were systematically dismantled, their weapons disabled, and their engines frozen in space. Broadcast on their frequency, Nakamura ordered, "Let's introduce ourselves properly." The message was short but clear. "This is Admiral Kira Nakamura of the Earth Defense Ship Thunderbolt. Your evaluation of humanity is incomplete. Would you like to continue?" The silence that followed was deafening. Finally, a response came through, the previous arrogance replaced with shocked respect. This is impossible. Your species, you were supposed to be primitive." "A common misconception," Nakamura replied. "One that has now been corrected. Return to your fleet. Tell them that Earth is not interested in integration. We are, however, open to diplomatic relations between equals." As the disabled scout ships were released and began their retreat, Nakamura turned to her crew. "This is just the beginning. They'll be back, and next time it won't be scouts. Alert all Guardian shield facilities. It's time to wake up the rest of the fleet." The crew's determination was palpable. Humanity had just announced its presence on the galactic stage, and the Nexarian Empire had learned a crucial lesson. Never judge a species by its visible technology. The real test would come when the Empire returned in force, but Earth would be ready. The Thunderbolt was just the first of humanity's surprises, and Admiral Nakamura intended to keep it that way. The Nexarian Empire's response came faster than even Admiral Nakamura had anticipated. Just 3 days after the scout ship incident, the Thunderbolt's long-range sensors detected a massive fleet emerging from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system. 117 vessels detected, Lieutenant Harrison announced, his voice steady despite the gravity of the situation. Including what appears to be their flagship, it's 3 times the size of anything else in their fleet. Admiral Nakamura studied the tactical display, watching as the Nexarian armada moved into an attack formation. Deploy the Phantom Network. Deep within the asteroid belt and scattered throughout the solar system, hundreds of seemingly innocent mining facilities transformed. What the Nexarians thought were simple resource extraction points revealed themselves as sophisticated defense platforms, each housing an array of quantum weapons and advanced shield systems. Phantom Network online. Officer Petrov confirmed. All 64 platforms are combat-ready. The Lazarus Protocol is also standing by. The Lazarus Protocol was humanity's ace in the hole, a series of automated shipyards hidden within Mercury's dark side, capable of launching their newly completed warships at a moment's notice. Each vessel was equipped with technology derived from the same breakthrough that had created the Thunderbolt. "Incoming transmission from the Nexarian flagship," Tanaka reported. Putting it through. A holographic image materialized on the bridge, showing a tall, aristocratic alien with iridescent scales and multiple sets of eyes. "I am High Commander Vexler of the Nexarian Empire. Your display of power was unexpected, but ultimately irrelevant. The Empire does not tolerate resistance. Surrender now, and your species may yet serve a purpose in our divine hierarchy." Nakamura stood, her posture radiating calm authority. "High Commander, I believe there's been a misunderstanding. We're not resisting integration because we fear you. We're declining because we have no interest in serving anyone. Earth stands as an independent power." Vexthor's scales rippled with what might have been amusement. "You have one vessel of noteworthy capability. We have brought a fleet that has conquered 12 star systems. Your bravado is admirable, but misplaced." One vessel. Nakamura allowed herself a small smile. "You're still making assumptions, Commander. Initiate Lazarus Protocol." The surface of Mercury seemed to shimmer as 20 massive warships emerged from their hidden docks. Each was unique in design, but shared the same advanced technology as the Thunderbolt. The Nexarian fleet's tactical display lit up with warnings as the ships took up defensive positions around Earth. "Impossible," Vexthor whispered, his multiple eyes widening. "You couldn't have hidden this level of technology from our deep space scans." "We've had decades to perfect our stealth systems," Nakamura replied. "Humanity understood long ago that we weren't alone in the universe. We chose to prepare quietly, to let potential adversaries underestimate us. It's served us well." The Nexarian commander's expression hardened. "If it's a battle you want, then you shall have it. Our empire has never known defeat." "There's always a first time," Nakamura responded as the transmission cut off. She turned to her crew. "All ships, battle stations. Phantom Network, prepare to engage. Remember your training. We've simulated this scenario hundreds of times." The Nexarian fleet launched their first assault wave, thousands of fighter craft supported by heavy cruisers. They expected to overwhelm Earth's defenses through sheer numbers. Instead, they met the Phantom Network's quantum web defense system. Streams of energy connected the defense platforms, creating a lattice of destructive force that shredded through the first wave of fighters. The few that made it through found themselves facing the newly revealed Earth fleet, whose point defense systems had been specifically designed to counter swarm tactics. "Their shields are adapting to our quantum weapons," Harrison reported. "They learn fast." Nakamura nodded. "As expected. Switch to pattern Delta. Let's show them why we built each ship differently." The Earth fleet broke formation, each ship engaging with its unique capabilities. The EDS Hyperion unleashed electromagnetic pulses that disrupted Nexarian targeting systems. The EDS Atlas deployed gravity weapons that crushed enemy ships under their own mass. The Thunderbolt itself led the charge, its quantum cascade array, creating zones of impossible physics that turned space itself against the invaders. "They're pulling back to regroup," Petrov announced. "But their flagship is moving forward. Energy readings are off the charts." The massive Nexarian flagship's hull began to glow with accumulated power. Whatever weapon they were charging, it was clearly meant to end the battle in one strike. "All ships, execute Maneuver Omega," Nakamura commanded. "Phantom Network, prepare for maximum power activation. They want to show us their best. Let's return the favor." As the Nexarian flagship prepared to fire its main weapon, the Earth fleet and defense platforms moved in perfect synchronization. They had trained for this, had developed technologies and tactics specifically to counter overwhelming force. The battle for Earth's independence was about to enter its next phase, and humanity was ready to prove that they weren't just capable of defending themselves. They were capable of changing the galaxy's balance of power forever. The Nexarian flagship's superweapon discharged, releasing a beam of concentrated plasma that could shatter planets. But humanity had planned for such a moment. As the devastating energy approached Earth's fleet, Admiral Nakamura gave the order they'd prepared years to execute. "Initiate Project Mirror Shield," she commanded. All ships synchronize quantum fields. In an unprecedented display of technological mastery, the Earth fleet's ships aligned their quantum manipulation systems. The space between them warped, creating a massive reflective barrier of altered physics. The Nexarian weapon struck this barrier and bounced back. High Commander Vexter barely had time to register shock before his fleet's formation scattered, desperately evading their own reflected attack. The massive energy beam carved through their ranks, destroying dozens of ships and leaving others damaged and drifting. Direct hit, Harrison reported, unable to keep a note of satisfaction from his voice. Enemy fleet cohesion is breaking down. They'd lost 37 vessels, with another 22 severely damaged. But Nakamura's expression remained grave. They're not done yet. Look at their flagship's energy readings. The massive Nexarian vessel was reconfiguring itself, its hull shifting like liquid metal. What emerged was something even Earth's intelligence hadn't predicted, a ship that could adapt and evolve during battle. This is why they rule so many systems, Petrov observed grimly. Their technology isn't just advanced, it's adaptable. Then it's time for Phase 2, Nakamura decided. Deploy the Shadow Strike teams. Deep within the Thunderbolt's specialized hangar, Earth's most elite space warfare unit prepared for action. The Shadow Strike teams represented the peak of human enhancement technology, soldiers with neural interfaces that allowed them to control their advanced combat suits as naturally as their own bodies. Commander Raven Torres, leader of Shadow Strike Alpha, checked her quantum phase suit one final time. Her team of 12 stood ready, their armor gleaming with the same light-absorbing material as the Thunderbolt's hull. Remember, Torres addressed her team, we've trained for this. The Nexarians think they know everything about human capabilities. Let's show them how wrong they are. The Shadow Strike teams launched from the Thunderbolt in vessels that looked like debris from the battle. As the fighting raged between the fleets, these small craft drifted unnoticed toward the Nexarian flagship. Their adaptive technology has a central core, Torres explained as they approached. Our mission is to reach it and upload the quantum virus. Without their ability to evolve mid-battle, they're just another advanced ship. Using technology that bent light and space around them, the Shadow Strike teams phased through the flagship's hull. Inside, they encountered their first Nexarian ground forces, towering warriors in biomechanical armor. Hold position. Torres whispered as a patrol passed within inches of her team, their active camouflage rendering them completely invisible. Remember, we're not here to fight. We're here to end this war. But the Nexarians weren't completely blind to their presence. Something about the human quantum technology created subtle disturbances in their ship's systems. Alarms began to sound. They know we're here, Lieutenant Kaizeo, Torres's second-in-command, reported. But they don't know where. Torres smiled behind her helmet. Good. Initiate sonic disruption. The Shadow Strike teams activated devices that sent specific frequencies through the ship's hull, creating chaos in the Nexarians' enhanced sensory systems. As the alien warriors clutched their heads in pain, the human teams moved swiftly toward their objective. Meanwhile, in space, the battle continued to evolve. The Nexarian flagship was learning, adapting to each strategy the Earth fleet employed. But that was exactly what Nakamura had counted on. They're so focused on adapting to our attacks, she observed, they don't realize they're being programmed. Each Earth ship used slightly different quantum configurations in their weapons. The Nexarian flagship adapted to each one, its systems becoming more complex, more interconnected, and more vulnerable to what was coming. Torres and her team reached the core chamber, a massive room filled with crystalline structures pulsing with energy. "Beginning upload," she announced, connecting their quantum interface device to the alien systems. The virus wasn't designed to destroy. Instead, it was a piece of human ingenuity at its finest, a program that would force the Nexarian systems to recognize a fundamental truth. Humanity wasn't just another species to be conquered. They were equals, with technology and determination that matched or exceeded the Empire's own. "Upload complete," Torres reported. "You're not going to believe what we found in their databases, Admiral. The Nexarians, they're not the top of the Imperial hierarchy. They're servants themselves to something much older and more powerful." Nakamura's eyes narrowed at this revelation. "Get your teams out of there, Commander. We'll deal with one empire at a time." As the Shadow Strike teams extracted, their virus began its work. The flagship's adaptive capabilities slowed, then stopped entirely. Its liquid metal hull solidified, leaving it powerful, but no longer evolving. "Their flagship is neutralized," Harrison announced. "The rest of their fleet is in disarray." Nakamura opened a channel to High Commander Vexthor. "Your ship's adaptive capabilities have been neutralized. Your fleet is scattered. Are you ready to discuss terms, or should we continue this demonstration?" The response came after a long pause, Vexthor's voice carrying a new tone, one of respect. Perhaps we have been too hasty in our assessment of your species." "I believe we have much to discuss," Nakamura replied, "including what you know about your own masters." The battle wasn't over, but humanity had proven itself on the galactic stage. And as Torres and her team returned to the Thunderbolt, they carried with them information that would change everything. The knowledge that the galaxy held threats even the mighty Nexarian Empire feared. Using technology that bent light and space around them, the Shadow Strike teams phased through the flagship's hull. Inside, they encountered their first Nexarian ground forces, towering warriors in biomechanical armor. "Hold position," Torres whispered as a patrol passed within inches of her team, their active camouflage rendering them completely invisible. "Remember, we're not here to fight. We're here to end this war." But the Nexarians weren't completely blind to their presence. Something about the human quantum technology created subtle disturbances in their ship's systems. Alarms began to sound. "They know we're here," Lieutenant Kaizeo, Torres's second-in-command, reported. "But they don't know where." Torres smiled behind her helmet. "Good. Initiate sonic disruption." The Shadow Strike teams activated devices that sent specific frequencies through the ship's hull, creating chaos in the Nexarians' enhanced sensory systems. As the alien warriors clutched their heads in pain, the human teams moved swiftly toward their objective. Meanwhile, in space, the battle continued to evolve. The Nexarian flagship was learning, adapting to each strategy the Earth fleet employed. But that was exactly what Nakamura had counted on. "They're so focused on adapting to our attacks," she observed, "they don't realize they're being programmed to protect you," Vexthor corrected, his scales shifting to a deeper shade. "Better to be part of our empire, hidden among countless subjugated worlds, than to stand out and draw their gaze." But now, he gestured to the displays showing Earth's fleet and defenses. "Now you've done something unprecedented. You've matched our best technology and shown innovation we never dared attempt." Before Nakamura could respond, alarms blared across the ship. Lieutenant Harrison's hands flew across his console. "Massive energy spike detected. Something's coming through. It's bigger than anything we've ever seen." A vast portal torn through space itself appeared at the edge of the solar system. Through it emerged a ship that dwarfed even the Nexarian flagship, a vessel of impossible geometries that seemed to bend reality around it. "They're here," Vexthor whispered, his voice filled with dread. "The precursors have awakened." Nakamura's response was immediate. All ships, battle stations. Phantom network, realigned to new coordinates. "And someone get me Director Wong from Project Prometheus. Now." Within minutes, the aged face of Director Isabella Wong appeared on the main screen, the secret lunar facility of Project Prometheus visible behind her. "I assume our guests have arrived," she asked calmly. "The precursors are here," Nakamura confirmed. "Is it ready?" Wong's smile was fierce. "We've been ready since we first detected their quantum signatures in the Nexarian technology. Initiating Prometheus protocol now." The dark side of the moon seemed to shatter as humanity's ultimate weapon revealed itself. It wasn't a ship or a weapon platform. It was something entirely new. A quantum matrix of unprecedented scale, designed specifically to counter the Precursor's dominion over space-time. "What have you done?" Vexthor asked, his multiple eyes wide with astonishment. "We didn't just study the quantum technology we developed," Torres explained, a note of pride in her voice. "We pushed it to its theoretical limits. The Prometheus matrix doesn't just manipulate space-time, it rewrites the underlying rules." The precursor vessel broadcast a message, not in words, but in pure concepts that burned themselves into the minds of all who heard them. Primitive beings. "You dare TOCAALENG natural order." Nakamura stood, her voice steady as she responded. "We dare to determine our own fate. Humanity will not be controlled, not by the Nexarians, and not by you." She turned to Wong. "Director, show them what humanity is capable of." The Prometheus matrix activated, spreading a web of quantum energy throughout the solar system. Where the precursor ship had bent reality, humanity's creation straightened it, imposing order on chaos. The vast alien vessel shuddered as its reality-warping capabilities were neutralized. "Impossible," Vexthor breathed. You've banned them to normal space." "Better," Wong corrected through the comm. "We've given them a choice. They can exist in our reality, playing by the same rules as everyone else, or they can leave. But they can no longer impose their will through superior control of space-time." The precursor ship hung motionless, its impossible geometries now forced into conventional shapes. When it broadcast again, the overwhelming sense of superiority was gone from its message. "How?" "Because humanity does not accept limitations," Nakamura declared. "We don't bow to superior forces. We learn, we adapt, we overcome. And now, we're offering you the same choice we offered the Nexarians, peaceful cooperation between equals, or..." She let the threat hang unspoken as the Earth fleet, the Phantom network, and the Prometheus matrix stood ready. Humanity had not just matched the galaxy's greatest powers, they had exceeded them. The silence that followed seemed to stretch for eternity. Then, slowly, the precursor ship began to change, reconfiguring itself into a more conventional form. Its next message carried a tone that neither the Nexarians nor humanity had expected. Nakamura smiled. "I thought you'd never ask." 72 hours after the confrontation with the precursors, Admiral Nakamura found herself in an unprecedented situation. The Thunderbolt's main conference room had been converted into a makeshift diplomatic chamber, hosting representatives from 3 distinct powers: humanity, the Nexarian Empire, and the precursors themselves. The precursor representative had taken a form that others could comprehend, a shifting mass of crystalline structures that sparkled under the room's lights. High Commander Vexthor sat rigidly in his seat, still processing how completely the balance of power had shifted. Director Wong attended virtually, her hologram flickering occasionally as the quantum interference from the precursor's presence affected the transmission. So, Nakamura began, keeping her tone conversational. Let's talk about the future. The precursor's response manifested as gentle pulses of light. Their translator converted it. Your species has achieved what we thought impossible. You've broken free of evolutionary constraints we believed universal. Humans have a habit of doing that, Wong commented with a slight smile. We see limitations as challenges, not boundaries. Vexthor leaned forward, his scales shifting thoughtfully. The Empire has conquered countless worlds, but we never imagined, never dared to challenge our role. How did you do it? How did you progress so far without detection? Nakamura shared a knowing look with Wong before responding. We kept our advances hidden because we had to. Earth's history taught us that when cultures clash, the one that appears weaker often has advantages. They can prepare, observe, and plan without pressure. The precursor pulsed again. Your Prometheus matrix. It does not simply counter our technology, it fundamentally alters quantum reality. Because we approached the problem differently, Wong explained. Instead of trying to master space-time like you did, we decided to change the rules entirely. We created a localized universe where everyone plays by the same physical laws. And that's what we're offering now, Nakamura continued. A new way forward. Not an empire based on dominance, but an alliance built on mutual respect and shared innovation. The conference room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity wasn't just offering peace, they were proposing a complete restructuring of galactic civilization. The other species under Nexarian control, Vexthor said slowly, they have their own potential, their own innovations we might have overlooked. Exactly, Nakamura nodded. Imagine what we could achieve if we worked together. If we combined humanity's creativity with Nexarian adaptation and precursor wisdom. The precursor representative shifted, its crystalline form catching the light in new patterns. Your species, you do not seek to replace us as masters of space-time. Wong actually laughed at this. Masters. No, we've learned that true progress comes from cooperation, not control. Look what humanity achieved when we united our planet's resources and minds. Imagine that on a galactic scale. As if to emphasize their point, a new hologram appeared above the conference table, showing the Prometheus matrix's effect spreading through the solar system. But now it was doing something new. Instead of simply neutralizing advanced technology, it was creating stable zones where different physical laws could coexist. This is just the beginning, Nakamura explained. We can create spaces where all our technologies work together, where we can learn from each other without fear or dominance. The precursor's next message carried a tone of wonder. In all our eons, we never considered. We thought our way was the only way. That's the beauty of the human perspective. Torres added from her position near the door. We never believe anything is the only way. There's always another approach, another solution, another possibility. As the discussions continued, plans began to take shape. The Nexarian Empire would transition from conquerors to coordinators, helping to unite species rather than subjugate them. The precursors would share their ancient knowledge, but now as teachers rather than masters. And humanity would help guide this transformation, their unique perspective bridging the gap between old and new. We should establish a council, Vexthor suggested, his earlier arrogance replaced by genuine enthusiasm. Not to rule, but to coordinate, to ensure all species have a voice. And the Prometheus matrix? The precursor inquired. We'll adapt it, Wong assured them. Create zones throughout the galaxy where different species can develop at their own pace, protected from interference, but free to join the larger community when they're ready. Nakamura stood, looking out at the vast expanse of space visible through the Thunderbolt's windows. Somewhere out there, countless civilizations were about to learn that the universe was bigger, stranger, and more wonderful than they had imagined. We came together to build weapons, she said softly, but we ended up building bridges instead. Maybe that's humanity's greatest strength. We prepare for the worst while hoping for the best. As the meeting concluded and plans were set in motion, the Thunderbolt's crew knew they had witnessed something historic. Humanity hadn't just proven itself among the stars. They had changed the very nature of galactic civilization. Not through conquest or dominance, but through innovation, determination, and the uniquely human ability to imagine a better way. The ultimate warship had indeed shattered alien confidence, but in doing so, it had helped forge something far greater, a future where the stars themselves were no longer a barrier, but a bridge to endless possibilities.